I'm Chef Yankel. This is the best turkey I have ever tasted. I'm going to show you how to smoke it and spatchcock it. And if you don't know what that means, you're going to love it. Keep watching. Plus, there's going to be a special surprise. It is that time of year again, turkey time, which is one of my favorite times. I have been making turkey so many different ways. I try to do it differently every year. And this year, we're gonna do something special. It's called spatchcocking. And what that means is basically splitting the turkey open, leaving it whole, and spreading it out so it is grillable. We're gonna do it on a pellet smoker, and I'll show you exactly how. Before we get to that, this beautiful ButcherBox turkey comes with a very special QR code, which you can see right there. You scan that and it's gonna take you to a page that is filled with recipe content, tips and tricks, and everything you need to know to make this Thanksgiving the best Thanksgiving. Let's get started. So the idea behind this is you can do the whole thing with a pair of shears, good kitchen shears. Spend a little money on them. It's gonna make a big difference. The first thing I'm gonna do, obviously take it out of the package. Now, turkeys typically come with some of the innards inside little bags. You wanna remove those before cooking. And there's one that's always hidden. Don't need the legs tied together. We're gonna go onto a big tray with a little bit of a rim because there's gonna be a little bit of liquid. First thing I'm gonna do is take out the neck, store it inside. You also have some of the other innards, and then there's always going to be one more little bag of innards on the other side where the neck opening is. We're going to get rid of that. You can use the bone, roast it, make gravy out of it, and we're also going to remove the spine as part of the process. Again, makes a terrific turkey stock. Spatchcocking. It may sound difficult, it may sound mysterious. It is basically dispatching a bird for quick cooking for dinner. Spatchcock. Dispatch the bird, cook it quickly. So starting point is going to be cutting the breastbone without actually cutting through the skin. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start breastbone facing you, legs down. You're gonna take your kitchen shears and you're gonna insert them right underneath where the skin can lift. Find that bone, insert, and then cut. And it takes a little bit of effort. It is bone that you're cutting through, and that's why I say a good pair of kitchen shears is gonna go a long way for this process. And basically you just wanna work your way through it. It's two-handed. Once you get it done, it is incredibly satisfying. So I'm gonna go as far as I can comfortably. I'll be able to finish it once I've done the other side. That's pretty good. And every now and then you're gonna encounter, and I understand it's a bit messy, you're gonna encounter some ligaments or some piece of the turkey that is tough to cut through. If you face resistance that doesn't feel like you can get through it, you can come at it from a different angle. You're gonna find where the joints meet. So that's about as far as I can go comfortably. I'm all the way up to the top of the scissors. So now it's time to flip it over. So we're gonna go breast side down. And you see we've got what I've heard referred to as the Pope's nose. I've always called it the chef's cut or the butt. What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the spine and we're gonna do it on both sides. So I'm gonna start just on one side of that little piece right there, cut in, and then cutting along the spine, and you can really see where that ridge is because of the way the skin color changes. So we're gonna go along on one side, and again, this is a two-handed operation, but if you're hitting the right spot, it shouldn't be too resistant. And this, folks, is why I work out. Every year, Thanksgiving comes around, I've gotta wrestle a turkey. All right, coming in from the other side now. I'm gonna start the cut, same spot underneath. You could actually stop here and just split it open, but I like to use the spine as part of my turkey stock. I'll roast it first, throw it in a pot with a bunch of herbs and veggies, and let it simmer, and makes the most incredible gravy. So I'm gonna remove it and use it. So at this point, I like to let gravity do most of the work. I'm gonna lift it up by the spine, let the turkey hang down, and that really gives me an easy opening into the last pieces that I need to cut all the way through. Spine is removed. Now we're gonna finish cutting the breastbone, and you can see I've got it most of the way through. So we're just gonna continue that cut, and you can put a little effort into splitting it. And there we are. That is a spatchcock turkey. A little bit of elbow grease, but really not too much work. And the payoff is your turkey is gonna cook more quickly if you want it to. The presentation is exceptional. I guarantee you serve a turkey like this, the way I'm about to show you on the smoker, everyone's gonna be disappointed if they don't have your turkey ever again. This is really the best way to cook a turkey. Whole roasted bird, it's traditional. This is really magic. So here we go. That is a spatchcock turkey. You want to spread it out a little bit. Press down so it splits. You can leave your little temperature guide in there. That's fine. It's still going to tell you when it's done. What we're going to do now is we're going to put it on a fresh tray. We're going to season it with just some coarse salt. And one thing to pay attention to here is you don't need to brine it if you're not in a hurry. Because we're smoking it on a pellet grill, we're gonna do low and slow. You can put it in the night before and let it go all night. You can put it in the morning and have it ready in time for dinner. The main thing is if you do it low and slow, brining it won't make that much of a difference. It's still gonna be moist and tender because smoke is such a gentle heat source. If you wanna roast it at high heat in the oven quickly, I would recommend spatchcocking it and brining it the night before. Now for the fun part. So we're gonna start with a little bit of salt, and I'm using Malden sea salt. It's a extremely flat crystal, flaky sea salt. It's got a crunch to it. It won't really melt down too much. So every time you bite into a piece of turkey, you're gonna get that crunch of salt, that extra flavor. I'm gonna do that just over the skin. What you really wanna do, if possible, is let the turkey dry out in a refrigerated environment for about an hour. It'll allow the surface to dry. The salt's gonna pull a little bit of moisture out of the skin. It gets you that super crispy skin. Of course, you wanna be very careful about cross-contamination, so bear that in mind. I've left it in the fridge for about an hour. Nice dry surface. I'm just gonna flip it over and add a little bit of salt to the interior. We want some good flavor going on there. And this part is also going to be facing the bottom of the smoker most of the time, so it's gonna get a little bit more of the heat, and we're gonna take advantage of that by adding as much flavor as possible. Back over, and now we're gonna use my extra special all-purpose holiday compound butter. And basically what I did was combine a whole bunch of really delicious ingredients, blended them with some butter in a food processor, and the recipe for that is on the channel, so find it, use it, you're gonna love it. I'm just gonna brush that all over the bird, and I'm gonna reserve some because I'm gonna use it to baste throughout the cooking process. And I'm gonna use my hands eventually. I don't mind if it touches it because I'm gonna keep it just for this turkey. We're gonna keep cooking it, and I've got another batch for finishing. Give your turkey a nice little massage. If you love going under the skin, if you're a fan of that, if you've done that before, you heard about that method, now's a great time to do it. You can get right under the skin and put the butter in there. I haven't found it to be necessary for additional moisture when you're smoking, but if you were gonna roast it in the oven, I would definitely say go for it. All right, now I'm gonna change my gloves for safety reasons. If you're touching raw poultry, wash your hands periodically, as in every time you pass the sink. On to our pellet smoker. If you're new to pellet smoking, I highly recommend them. They are incredible. They're set it and forget it. You get all the benefits of being a professional pit master, and it just happens by itself. Also, I control it from my phone, so I can go to sleep, set an alarm, wake up, baste it, go back to sleep. Making a turkey on a smoker could be a labor of love. You have to put some time into it to get it really good, but it's worth it. I've got it set at 250, just getting up there. 250 to me is a fine balance between I don't want it to take forever and I don't want to overcook it or have the moisture evaporate because the temperature is too high. If you're going into an oven, 300 degrees is good, but like I said, brine it first, you're gonna have a better experience. So we're gonna go right on to the grill. I'm gonna put a bunch of fresh herbs down, and I'm gonna sit the turkey right on top. Those are gonna steam into the turkey, add a ton of flavor, and they make a beautiful presentation afterwards. When I put it on the smoker, I'm gonna put it breast facing back. There's more heat in the back that's circulating, and I want the breast as the thickest part of the turkey to cook as evenly as the thighs. So thighs forward, breast back. If you come up with a different opinion or you try something else, definitely let me know about it. Here we go. That's it. Close it up. Make sure your hopper is full. Hopper's full. Set a final temperature if you want. Insert a probe if you want. Recommended temp 165. I find that once I hit 165 is really when the turkey starts to tenderize. And so I'll let it go a little bit longer. I'll just drop the temperature down. So I hit my peak temperature and then I drop the temperature on the grill down a little bit and I let it go a little bit longer until it's super tender. I'll show you what that looks like in about 8 hours. It's been a little while, but it was worth the wait. Let's take a look at what's happening. My oh my, if that isn't one of the prettiest birds I have ever seen. I'm gonna be very delicate with it. Hopefully it's fall apart tender. That's what we're aiming for. Put my tray right here. Oh yeah. Ooh, it's just falling apart, which is really what we want to happen. All right, here we go. Oh, I'm just gonna eat some of that. I've done turkey 20 different ways in 20 years. That is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. No brine, couple of minutes with the scissors, a really good butter. Baste it as often as you're able. Every 30 minutes is what I would recommend, but over an 8-hour period, that's a lot. If you have children that don't have anything to do, you can sit them in front of the grill, put it on someone's calendar, make it happen. This is, as you can see, absolutely fall apart tender. I could pull it like pulled pork, like just rip it apart, but I'm gonna do my best to do a nice carving job on it without actually disrupting the structure. If you've ever pulled a chicken apart, you may know there are some basic areas where it's easy to do cuts, although to be honest, I don't think I need to do anything with a knife yet. I've got my legs, the thighs I'm gonna cut right at the seam, and they're just gonna pull right off. My, oh my, that is gorgeous. Oh, the smell coming off of this is outrageous. So I used a basic blend of wood pellets for this, just your average competition blend. I would recommend playing around a little bit and finding one that you like a lot. Personally, I prefer some of the fruit trees, pecan, apple, cherry, love all of those. We're gonna pull the wings off. And you can see it just falls apart. I mean, this is unbelievable. Pure magic right here. This is Thanksgiving. This is what it's all about. Finding turkey, finding a really good turkey, taking it to the next level, pushing yourself a little bit in technique, and just making something out of it, and then sharing it with people who are like, ah, turkey, all right. Then they taste this. It's a whole new ball game. Oh my God, so unbelievably tender. For the breast, I'm gonna leave them together. Make sure you move that thermometer that lets you know it's done. And I'm just gonna carve it right where it sits. Simple slices, medium thickness. You can really see just how juicy it stayed. Again, no brine. It's that easy. Pellet grill is nice to have. If you're gonna do this in the oven, like I said, brine it if you can. If you can't, low and slow and baste it often. You're gonna get a really good result. One of the nice things about doing it in the oven is you can have a pan underneath and use all those drippings in gravy or in stuffing or whatever you wanna do with them. So all I'm gonna do is slice and leave it. That way people have to help themselves. It's like they're pulling it right off the whole bird. Everyone kind of gets to carve a little bit on their own. It's very interactive. I'm gonna throw this tray right on the table just like it is. I'll surround it with some potatoes, some vegetables, dump some gravy on top, put some gravy on the side. It's going to be the best Thanksgiving ever. I'm just gonna taste a little piece of the breast here. Wow. I didn't think I could impress myself again with turkey, but I did. That is really something. I hope you learned something here. I hope you can get through the spatchcock process without too much difficulty. Again, really good kitchen shears make a huge difference. If you have a cleaver, you can apply that as well, obviously. Happy Thanksgiving. This is what it's all about. Sharing really good food with friends and pushing yourself for a cooking challenge because you get a free day to just cook. It's awesome. I love it. I'll see you next time.